live. All right. Got a little loud. A little bit. That's good. Not bad. Hold on easy. Good life gone. I am not going to run an ad right now. Man, YouTube. And you know what? They are up to their old tricks. They're turning ads back on after I explicitly say, they're like, you want to run mid-rolls? I'm like, no! And they're like, we're turning them on anyway. It's like, then why are you even asking me? Like, you know? Goddamn turds. Oh, you turd. What's up, Strat CPO? Trolls. Matt, Fretless Ed, Chris, Jimmy, Scott, Rock and Rob. Got David, Yeti Motzi. Got Vince, Zach, David, BC Rich. Got Larry, Frank, Rico, David, Rock and Rob, Seth. Got Mark, and Retro Puffer, and Super Lead. What's up, buddy? Got Eric, got Matt, Double R Guitar, 80 Face, Speaker. What's up, dude? You know what? I was going to take a ride out to, I've been sort of jazzed up to go through the magazines out there at Music Go Round again. There's a couple of old ones I wouldn't mind getting and scanning. So maybe next time you're around, take a ride out. Plus, there's a new update for your handhelds, one that does a good job on the brightness on that large one. Finally figures out, like, the gamma on that friggin' screen. We got Chuck, we got Tulsa Dave, we got Gary Davin. What's up, Gary? Got Browns fan. Yeah. Not bad. Now, where was I? Christopher. I think I said BC Rich. You'll say it again. Deanna, what's up? And Scott, and Jay, and a Roxy Blues. And Terry 3G. You up for all of that? Yeah. Yeah. I want to take a ride. I want to just go through and see what they have. There's a couple of old issues. There's a couple of covers I wouldn't mind having. Not, you know. I didn't really go through. I wish I spent more time going through them. Because I'm sure there's going to be like one or two in there. I'm going to be like, ah. Hello, over in Natick. Yeah, I love the music around. Yeah, you know what? They had a couple of boxes of magazines that they got. It seemed like they got in recently. There was a lot of them. So nobody reads magazines. Probably 90% of them are still there. So I wouldn't mind going back over and just like checking out some of those covers. You know, I think last time we were there, I got the one with Styx on the cover. Tommy Shaw, thank you. And James Young. And then, of course, I also got a Franco Gambale, another great Italian. Frank Gambale. Gambale? And I bet there's more. I bet they have at least one or two more I wouldn't mind having. That guy said that they had just got them in, really. Yeah, so probably good time to go pick them over. It's been a while since we've been there. Refinance my house for eggs for Easter. I know, God, egg prices are just going cuckoo. Who else do we got here? We got Ron. We got Retro Puffer. Got Assad. Rock and Rob. Beetle. He's as bad as can. Never forget that. Bad as can. Was that Buddy? Was Buddy coming through? No, I cut my hand. Cat didn't get me. I cut it, and, you know, I'm so worried about infection that I treated it. I just, you know, it was a pretty nasty cut, and it was, cut my finger, and I was truly worried about infection, you know, and so I was like, you know, before you screw the one hand you frickin' need, you know, you can, you know, you do something, like, don't mess with it. I was truly worried about infection. I said, you know what? I treated it with a bunch of hydrogen peroxide, and it was bubbling like crazy, right? That's a sign of bacteria, right? And then I wrapped it in this, and the soreness has gone away. That's a sign that infection has gone away. So, yeah. You know, it's one of the downsides of being a handyman. You're always friggin' cutting your hands. Yeah, we're already up for Halloween 2025. So get ready. Carve your pumpkins. What's up, funny ass guitar guy? Green Meanie, Scott, Richard, and I think Eddie, and J Shaft. New cat blanket. Now, we've had that blanket for a while, but it was over here on this table, and I just moved it over there and made a buddy bed. It's a trap. It's a cat trap. We'll see if it catches any cats. Good. Some cats just can't resist it. How do guitar players protect their fingers and wrists between shows? I keep mine in a hyperbaric chamber at all times when I'm not on here, you know, that old trick. Have we learned nothing from Zoolander? From Jamie Pruitt? Fall back to a high school shop teacher? Well, I think THU sounds just a tiny bit better. THU always sounded good. But I think V2, they finally got around to changing. Actually, it wouldn't even affect this one. Well, go figure. But they got around to changing all of their IRs to their fluid IR technology. So they're pumping fluid IR technology like it's something brand new, but it's actually been around for, I think, about a year now. And it's just their, like, sort of AI-assisted way to move harmonics in the IR pattern to more accurately represent a guitar depending on how you play it. That's why they call it fluid IR, because it's responsive. So the classic example they give is that, like, if you go through modeling and you have like a Mesa Boogie and you chug, you're like, right? What will happen is that if you don't compensate for like a harmonic shift, it'll sound muddier than the real thing. The real amp, through just like the transient properties of how it runs its circuitry, actually slightly pushes those sonic that chug sound slightly more towards the mids. It sounds brighter to your ear. So when they were doing the modeling, they realized it was coming out muddier. No matter how accurately they sampled it, it would still sound just like a little muddy. And some places would compensate for it different ways, but they figured out how to like do it so it would react like the amp would. And then like when they do the ABs between the, you know, the actual amp and the fluid IR, they're like indistinguishable. Where before, the IR definitely sounded just a hair darker, wasn't quite, and could sometimes sound a hair brighter depending on the amp and how the transients worked. So they did a lot of work into it, but you know, quite frankly, that's actually been around for a little bit. There's a whole bunch of other stuff like global transposition that they never even mentioned when I was there. That's a game changer if you're trying to dig out a tune and you don't have any way to change the pitch of your guitar. You can just quickly, it doesn't sound like unbelievable, but in high quality mode, it sounds pretty damn good, you know, and it's just an easy way to transpose your guitar on the fly, to sync up with some music. You know, if it's in E flat or, you know, D, you don't have to retune your guitar if you have a locking tuner guitar. That's freaking huge. And they finally, and I can't believe they did it, they finally added friggin' favorites. Thank you. Like so many awesome things. So I got a video coming out probably this week that'll go over everything, my top new favorite things. They went with all new graphics. The graphics definitely look a little bit better, a little higher res. And I thought everything just sounded good. I was going through some of the Tweed amps. I'm like, this sounds better than the last version. This definitely sounds like a real friggin' Tweed amp. Look at that, you know, I was like, wow, this is, yeah, because sometimes it's close, but it's like, and the funny thing is like, when I think back, kind of dark. I wonder if it's that fluid IR coming through, right? Bringing those transients out. It sounded good. The harmonics, I think they said. So it should be good. You know, what's up, Scott? And Scott? Where you folks, it sounds better. It does. It just sounds better. It really does. You know, and at the end of the day, that's what they want to do, right? They want to make it more and more accurate. Because even if you, and it's on sale right now. I got an email telling me, you know, it was on sale. So it's like 40% off. You probably could do better on Black Friday, but if you can't wait until November, I got to admit, that's a ways away. Sometimes they have a sale in July, too. But the big sale is usually on Black Friday. So right now it's 40% off. I think the best you're going to do is 50% off. So if you can live with that, you can go get it now. Also, if you bought, the reason why I was able to upgrade is the guy from Ilio sent me a note saying, yo, bro, you know, we sent you an NFR that's not for a resale, serial for a pack. Because we sent that to you after November, you qualify for the free update instead of having to pay the $29. He said, but it's only for so long. So, like, download it. Well, it should be in there. And I was like, cool. And I went up there and downloaded it. And I'm not going to lie. I am in a friggin' awesome mood. Oh man, I can't even I don't even really want to get into it because I'm going to have to make a video about it and I don't want to give too much away about it because it's so freaking awesome. But basically, I had a guitar score, like a major guitar score, like a totally unexpected guitar score. And I was texting with Robert Baker earlier and he was like, how do you do it? I go, I don't know. I got to make a video. Because, dude, you are on fire. Like, I know. And I partially blame him because he texts me all the time, like guitars, going, check out this new thing I just got. You know, it makes you feel like, you know, you need to keep up. But no, I saw something recently, and I was just like, Ermager, if that's real, then that is a major score. If it's not real, then not so much. Then, no, not really. But if it is real, it's a major score. And I got it about an hour ago. And it's real. Oh, it's real. And it's spectacular. And I'm just like, the tears of joy. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my, can you believe it? I sent Baker a photo. He's like, oh my God. That is legit. I'm like, I know. He goes, I can't, oh my God. I'm like, I know. So I'm in a mood. I'm in a party. And I haven't even got into the half-price appetizers at the Yard House. I just put that on hold for a sec. Oh man. So no, it's I'm in a really freaking good mood. So the thing is that, you know, I have to see when I can do the video, because I have to have so I have Guitar of the Week coming out on Monday. Really good guitar this week. God, it's an awesome guitar. And then I want to do something on THU too, because, you know, it just came out and timing is everything with this crap. And then I got to do the video, but, you know, do you do 3 videos in a week? Or do I push it out another week and then do it the following week, right? Take my time and go through. Make sure. I haven't even had a chance to plug it in. For all I know, the thing doesn't even work. But assuming it does work, and anything wrong with it I can friggin' fix. Oh my God, what a score. You know, it's just one of those things where you just lift that lid. You go, oh my God. You like stare at it like, oh my God. What? So we'll see. It's probably not. It's not for everybody, but for me, man, I was just like, oh damn, what a score. I found Clammy. Don't lie. Hey, you know, I'm just saying, for my members, there may be someday the spectacular return of Clammy. I'm just saying, it could happen. We might have a Clammy. We might have a Clammyo. It's not a keyboard. It's not a keyboard. No. Though there have been some pretty decent keyboards up there lately, but not the same. Yeah, I think the Ibby's made in China. Wait, let's move. Play Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's Chinese. Damn it. Yeah, you tell him, Ron. I don't know what it's about, but get him. So we'll see. I think if I put it out this week, it almost will feel a little rushed. Again, THU is kind of, you know, the one that I had slated for this week. So I think it's going to have to go in the following week. But Not too far out. I can't contain it. I can't keep it under wraps. How did EVH make the elephant sound on guitar? It won't work on this guitar. It's predicated. The first thing you need is you need a guitar with a locking trem, because you can't get the strings to change the pitch in the same manner if the string can slide past the nut or past the bridge. So step number one, you need a locking trem guitar. Period. End of story. All right. Step number 2, you got to hit a bunch of harmonics in a row. Those 3. 5th fret on the G, 7th fret on the B, 12th fret on the E. All right? If you do that and you drop the bar, hold on. At some point, as you're dropping the bar, those 3 notes will actually come in tune of each other. They're actually unison. And when he gets it to unison, he moves it out of unison and back into unison again. And that's what sounds like an elephant. I hope that explains it. A little out. Yeah, I was looking to see if I had a locking trem guitar. No, that doesn't have a locking trem. These don't have a locking trem. That does, but it's kind of stuck behind that amp. No, that doesn't have a locking trem either. I kind of don't. And also a volume swell. Michael's right on that. Because what he does is he turns the volume down while he's getting it into unison. And as he moves it from unison out, he swells up the volume. And that's what makes it sound like the elephant roar. The volume swell is absolutely needed. And he usually does it hand over hand, right? Right? So, right? Yeah. Right? Wow. Right? He does it. He's using the bar with the left hand and the volume knob with the right hand. Absolutely. No locking trem. Looks like I need a new guitar purchase. Well, maybe the new guitar I just got has a locking trem. Bum, bum, bum. Can you explain the theory of relativity now? Absolutely. Einstein was sitting in the square, and he's watching horses and carriages go by, and people walking, and clocks ticking up on the giant bank or something. All right, it's in the 1920, roughly 1918. And he thinks to himself, well, what if I didn't ride a horse away from the square? What if I rode a light beam? Then if I look back, what would it look like? And he realizes it would be frozen. Right? Because as you as the next step, the next click tries to get to you, that information tries to get to you, you're moving away at the speed of light. It appears frozen. Now, if you start to go slightly slower than the speed of light, then it comes into you very slowly. Time ticks more slowly. Right? It looks like that way. But what's really happening is that happens in like all directions. Not just behind you. And your time really does slow down. And that's the part, that's right. So when he was thinking about it, he was thinking about it more like going through a 3D world with a 2D image, right? This static image, rather than a 4D world as a 3D object. So it's a little harder to conceptualize beyond that, but it's all relative. So for you, things would seem normal, but for someone observing you, you would appear smaller, like more contracted, and you would literally start to gain mass. Time dilation is a mind fuck. It really is. But it isn't if you think about, you got to remember that time dilation is based on uniform acceleration. Acceleration being the key word. It's a delta. It's a constant change. Right? So like if you had a ship where they were trying to conduct an experiment, the ship is enormous. It's so big that in the chamber, the distance from the start of it to the end of it is 1 light second. And right, which is pretty huge. 1 light second in distance. And a guy is, for like a couple of milliseconds, hits a light pulse. That's a very bright light. But the ship is accelerating. As the ship accelerates, as the light pulse moves from the guy at the front to the guy at the back, by the time it gets to him 1 light second later, the ship is actually moving a little faster than when it left. And so the guy who gets it records it, not because he's moving towards the light, but because they're going faster. He actually records it to be slightly shorter in time and distance between pulses. Instead of 1 second, it's a little bit shorter than that. So, where it gets interesting is that if that same rocket was just standing on a planet, it would the same thing would happen if the person at the top of the rocket to the person at the ground level, because of the uniform acceleration of gravity, which gravity is just the inverse of, right? The inverse of uniform acceleration is gravity, is mass in a gravitational field. If Einstein had a watch on, would that slow down? It would not. To him, it would appear to click at the exact normal rate. It wouldn't appear, but that's his local time. Right. Here's a little mind bender for you, and these are the actual results. I'm not making any of this up. These are the actual numbers. All right, because you can feed it into like an AI model, and it will spit it back out to you in seconds. So, the closest star to our star is 1 light year away, which means at the speed of light, which you can never get, it would take a year to get there, and it would take a year to get back to Earth. So if you traveled at 99% the speed of light, 99% the speed of light, to Alpha Centauri, our closest star, and you were like, cool, and you turned around and you head back, and at 99% of the speed of light, You traveled back to Earth. A little over 14 years will have passed on Earth. You will have experienced 2 years, right? One going out, 1 year going out. Because you're going maybe a little bit longer than a year. Right? Because you're going 99% the speed of light. And it's 1 light year away. So a little bit longer than a year to go out. And a little bit longer than a year to come back. Now again, that's assuming you're going a pretty fast speed most of the time. It would probably take you a half a year to even get up to speed without killing yourself. But let's just forget about that. It's warp drive or some shit, right? Now, let's say instead of going 99% the speed of light, you went 99.99% the speed of light, which doesn't feel like a lot more. It feels like less than 1% more. I'm going 99% the speed of light, but now I'm going 99.99% the speed of light. Again, you make the same trip. You make a trip out to Alpha Centauri. You, hey, what's up, dude? I got to get back. You spin around, you head back. 1 year, a little over a year out, right? Maybe a week or more, a little over a year out, right? And about a year back, right? 2 years. Instead of 14 years elapsed on Earth, it'd be 141. Everyone you know would already be dead. Exactly. Imagine the licks you could learn in that time. If one person traveled the speed of light, would they be light? Only light can travel the speed of light because it doesn't contain any mass. Unfortunately, you have mass. So by definition, you can never, ever quite reach the speed of light. And as you try to get 99.9%, you can already see the time dilation, right? You go from 14 years to 140 years. Your mass would start to increase, and to push that against C, you would need a lot of E, because E equals M times C squared. Yeah, guitar talk, it's just clickbait. Look, I'm holding a guitar, right? What was it? I'd have to listen to that again. I'd have to hear it. Feels like it's supposed. It feels like it's Lydian. Exactly, Sammy. You need an infinite amount of energy. And if you did travel the speed of light, the entire existence of the universe would pass you by, because you'd be going at full speed. And so it would continue going up. For every 9 you kept adding on, you can add an exponent of 10 on the number of years that went by. That's why we went from 14 to 140, because you added those 2 extra 9s. You're just going to keep, right? Well, everything would pass by pretty quickly. Boss Phase 45. You know, I think I have one. I think this is supposed to be no, this is a Phase 90. And then the other one is the Stone. Which is more like a Hendrixy. Exactly. String me up, Scotty. You're blown to all of your pecs. If there are new THU presets, I haven't gone through them yet. I've been mainly going through my stuff and some of the stuff in like Explore, because I wanted to hear the original rigs because I've heard them so many times. The like Explore THU, you know, sort of like Start Here. Those have been the same for many years, but the difference is those same patches have been updated with the new IRs and the new graphics, and I just wanted to check a lot of those out because I'm familiar with them. I've been using the product for so long. Upgraded to V1 Essentials to V2 to updated amps, sims, cabs, effects. Are you sure you went to V2 then? Unless there's no change in Essentials, but no, it should have. If you look at all the cabs, first of all the graphics should have changed. All the graphics should look different. And secondly, the all of the cabs should now have that little Fluid IR emblem up in the corner. If it doesn't, then maybe you didn't get that. Maybe it didn't go through, or maybe Essentials doesn't include them. I don't know. Because I have like a premium, exactly by dilithium crystals. What is it, Ditritium or something? You know, so before I forget, there's some new stuff out this week. We can go really quickly, actually, and go over to, now that it's out, we can go take a quick look at it. Hold on. All right. Yeah. It's a little cut off, but you can kind of see it. New THU. It's $179. I think I can change this to US dollars. Yeah, it's $179. Not bad. Normally $299. That's pretty good. And they got a features walkthrough, and they got a grace period if you bought anything. The models, the presets, the rigs. See, Fluid IRs. This is their big thing that they're kind of pushing. That and the new interface. You know, how they change the models on the right. You can filter them out at the top. See that? What he's doing is going through and showing the filters. So there's all the, right, there's captured rigs. There's just Fluid IRs. Filtering out the rest. So you don't have a giant list to go through like it used to be. And this is really cool too. you can now, you can break the chain and make it more vertical, which, that's a long time coming. The one I'm using right now, this patch here, which I've been using for friggin' years, I broke it up, and I was just looking at it going, oh yeah, that's right, I broke that up. I was like, what friggin' patch is this? I don't know. That's right, you broke it across the top. And yeah, the new signal splitter. They have a new way to split the signal, and keep it in two independent stereo paths with this new, I think, mixer at the end. You can mix down to either path. They still got the amp captures. That's nothing new. It's 42 deluxe captures. This is basically IRs for amps, profiling, basically what Kemper has been doing, what a lot of them are doing. They start with a capture. And then here it is, a super cabinet and the IR. So they bumped up the super cabinet tech, and they went to all fluid IR libraries. And blah, blah, fluid modeling. You can go check out. They explain it all. Dynamic behavior. This crap, that crap. And they get the models. So they have more like behind the scenes stuff where you can do, which is fine, but Bias used to do this. It was almost like a little too crippling, right? Because the model is supposed to be, for that amp, it's supposed to be a certain set, right? That amp might have originally, I'm sure it's based on something, and like an Egnator or something, or I think that's an XTC, right? So that it's supposed to be like a 12AX7 with like EL34s or whatever. When you start to say, well, now I can put it in like a U7 and now I can change it to like 6L6, that's not the same amp, right? And it's almost too much customization. Then it's like, what are we doing? but I get it. I mean, if you're a real tweaker, God, you can tweak everything. Again, very much like Bias. And this is huge, the polyphonic global transposer. You can, if you look down here, there's a high Q mode that kind of has to be on for, I think, decent tracking. The tracking is unbelievable. It's perfect. But I think the quality, because remember, you are going through basically a pitch shifter. But you can go like +2 or -2, whatever, and then just go down here and you turn it on, and you're good to go. That has been less of an issue for me because I use Amazing Slow Downer, which has a transpose function in it. So I can just use that. But it's good. You don't have to buy a separate piece of software. You have a global transposer built right in. Of course, MIDI controls. Oh, and there's some bass models. There's like 3 or 4 bass models. What is it? 4 bass amps, 2 bass cabs, a graphic EQ, and a tuner, all dedicated for bass. So they have, some bass models included. And that's it. And then, hold on a sec. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. Booyah, right there. Right there. New Gibson stuff. I'm on the email list. I think last week we checked out the new ES335s. This week it's the new Clapton Les Paul. This is a collectible. This is a guitar that is probably got a limited... How many... Are they limiting the number to be built? No? Maybe I'm not seeing it. Oh, 150. Yeah. $1.50. 150. Okay, I knew it was going to be a limited thing. People are buying these to speculate, right? They're gonna buy it, and hopefully that they're gonna spend 20 grand now, and it's gonna be worth 50 grand later. But I don't know. I chuck that money in the Dow rather than a guitar. But maybe someone just really loves Clapton. Like, I always loved that Clapton Les Paul. But to me, once you start getting into like 20 grand, it's collectible market. That's really the market. Right? Sold to people that have no intention of ever playing it. Oh. Right down to the little cat bites. Yeah. Oh, sure. So I've been on a, I wonder if I can find it. Hold on. I've been looking at Ovation guitars. Been kind of on a kick for Ovation. I go to Reverb and I'm looking, and there's a few models that are like, oh Christ, you're not remembering it. Maybe it's not going to remember it. Maybe not. Oh God, Ovation doesn't have an easy number to remember. You just go to Ovation here. Let me see if I can find it. It was a good price, and I was just like, that's a really good price. What's wrong with it? And oh boy. Oh, what wasn't wrong with it? Let me see if I can find it. No, that's not it. Again, though, that has like a lifted friggin' bridge, and the guy wants crazy money. Let me see if I can find it. Let me sort by price. That might get, because I think it was around $500, if I remember correctly. And that will get it to me quicker. I'm trying to sort through everything. And I don't think he had it listed in fair or poor condition. I'm trying to remember. I remember looking at it and going, oh, well, that's a pretty decent price. Yeah, well, there's a reason. No, that's not it. Where is it? Anniversary. It was one of their higher end models. And I think it's even more. I'm telling you, I think he wanted around 500. I could have sworn. Still not there. Still in the celebrities. You know, the lower end Korean maids. Is that it? No. Hold on. We're getting there. I feel like I'm getting close here. And I know it was under 500. God, who knew they were selling so many friggin' Ovations on Reverb? The problem is I don't know the exact number, and I would need that. But I would recognize it instantly if I saw it. Is that it? Is it a 16, 17? No. This guy had it shot outside. No, that's in way too nice a shape. Hold on. Because you can't, this guy, I think this is it. This it? Let me see. No, that's also in gorgeous shape. Is this it? Is this your card? Finish check. No, that's actually not. So the ones I'm looking at so far have all been in pretty decent shape. No, that's definitely not it either. I doubt it sold. Maybe the listing ended. It was a, no, definitely not recently listed. It was an Ovation, and I'd love to show it to you. I wish there was a, I wish I could find it. You know what? There is one way I can find it. Let me see if I can look through history. Let me go here. Because this guy, talk about trying to be a little too cute for school. No. All right, I don't think so. Maybe not. Anyway, he had it up there. I wish I could find it because it's too funny. He's got it up on he's got it up there for, I want to say $500. And he says, you know, it's got a hairline crack on the back of the neck, but it doesn't affect like the structure in any way. Like, oh, okay. But then as you're looking at the photos, he finally gets to showing the back of the neck. And clearly the headstock had come completely off. And not only is it back on, but there's a big wood screw like sunk into the back of the headstock to like reattach that headstock onto the neck. He's like, you know, there's a hairline crack on the back. I'm like, hairline crack? Dude, there's a giant break spot on the back of that friggin' neck and a wood screw drilled from the back to the front of it. Like, and it probably comes through the truss rod on the inside of the truss rod hole. I'm like, dude, you are insane. And he wanted like, he's like, yeah, I wanted $750. Now I'm asking like $499. I'm like, dude, it's like $100 guitar if you're lucky. So I doubt it sold. Maybe the listing just ended, but yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a tone screw. And I was just like, oh man, you maniac. You blew it up. You maniac. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? I thought something else came out this week. I'm trying to think. No? Was that it? Was there any other news? Is that a bad thing to have a screw through the back of the neck like that? I'm no luthier. But I'm going to say yes. Yeah, mechanical joining is never a good idea. Exactly, when it goes in the truss rod, it like doubles the sustain. Authentic Ovation screw starting at $499. And I was just like, I'm like, dude, you are a maniac. And well, just how he was like, listen, there's a small hairline crack in the back. It's just a small hairline crack. And, you know, and he mentions nothing about the giant screw. Like protruding on the back of it. And I'm like, anything else on the back of the headstock we should know about? Anything at all? Ah. You know, I like, hold on. Man, it is dry here. Is the Ovation better than LTD TL6? You know, I don't know. I'm sure that LTD is a decent guitar. I just like the old Ovations. And I've been on a little bit of an ELO kick. And, of course, Jeff Lynne plays an Ovation. He's got a 6-string and a 12-string. I was watching a bit of, Glenn Campbell. Again, big Ovation player. There's a wonderful video of Hart in the early years playing on, I think, the Midnight Special. And Nancy Wilson is friggin' killing it on an Ovation. And same with Alex Lifeson. When I saw Rush in '83, he would come out and he had an Ovation just mounted up on a stand, and he would go up and play the acoustic part, and then he'd step away and play the electric part on the guitar he had slung over his shoulder. So, like, all my guitar heroes back then were playing Ovation. They just were. And I just have a soft spot for, Ovation. And Ovation is a guitar that is just completely out of style. So you can get them for short money. They have been creeping up, though. There was a time not too long ago, maybe it was 10 years ago, but you could get an Ovation for, like, the most expensive Ovation was like $500. Now the most expensive Ovation is like $1,500. And a lot have crept up to the $700 to $1,000 range. Because they're looking at these and they're like, it's a made in USA guitar with some of them have, like, crazy features, like, carved bridges and, a lot of, like, extra doodads and so forth. Yeah, the Signal Store, 83 on the Signal Store. Hey, Robert Baker. Steve is just talking himself a new guitar at this point. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Now, I was teasing my new one. You can't say what it is, but Baker knows. Baker saw it. He's in the inner circle. The circle of trust. And to that, I know what he just bought too, so that works both ways. Ovation has been forgotten about. Excellent guitars. I love Ovation, man. Especially the Glenn Campbell model. Do you want to be a rhinestone cowboy? You're gonna have to get an Ovation. Like a rhinestone cowboy. Ovation was horrible to sit down with. Yeah, but I don't sit down with guitars. I sling them over my shoulder. I won't play a guitar without a strap over my shoulder. I just won't, period. I don't have a lap anymore. My lap's been missing for years. Last place it was seen, Cheesecake Factory. Exactly, everybody wants to be a rhinestone collector. Exactly, the YouTuber oath. No beans shall be spilt. No, the beans shall not be spilt tonight. No. Oh, it's so awesome though. Dude, I'm like hugging myself over here. I was so excited coming on there. It's like, is that real? Is that legit? Oh, it is real and it is spectacular. Exactly. Laps are overrated. Still searching for my lap as well. Lost about 25 years ago. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Where the hell did that lap go? I had a lap. Now it's gone. Actually, my wife and I, we've been going out to the Yard House on Friday. And we happened to get there like early last night. And, a lot of the appetizers are like half price. and the pizzas are half price. And I was like, oh my God, let's just get a couple of apps and a pizza. We chowed, had leftovers, and she had a martini and I had a beer, and it was cheap because everything was half price. I was like, oh, we should just get here early all the time. They do I think it's between 3 and 6. You know, it's like when you know what's better than a good guitar? A good guitar at cheap for a cheap price. Same with a meal. You know what's better than a decent meal? A decent meal for half price. The 17-year-old Guitar Center mispriced something. Didn't misprice it, but I would say that they mislabeled it, and it punched up way past what they thought it was. Yeah, I'm using V. You're soaking in it right now. This is V2, but it's just my regular patch. Good to see you, Coots. Kramer Pacer Deluxe. I just got one of those. I don't need another Pacer Deluxe. Unless it's in a rare color. Then let's talk. But no! Actually, you know what they had recently on Guitar Center used? But unfortunately, it's been modded. Yeah, it's been foobarred. Moobarred, modded beyond all recognition. Let me see if I can find it here. It was an OG from the 80s. Unfortunately, people can't leave shit alone. Let's just sort by price and go with the highest first. It's still there? Did they sell that thing? No, still there. Yeah. All right. Oh, why, God? Why? I can't get it to go full screen. I hate that. I think it's... Is it this? There it is. No. Still not gonna work. I swear to God, this is like... Because I won't agree to their friggin... I'm not agreeing to their cookies. It won't do it. They're like, the third-party cookie's okay? If you want to look at a photo? No. And then can I turn that off and bring it... There it goes. What a pain in the ass. You know what? This is like literally their stupid cookie friggin' What you're seeing here, that's a Kramer Showmaster. That's a neck through, bro. Unfortunately, that blade switch, it's a bit of a mod, bro. And that stupid jack on the side there. That's like one of those, you can't pull it out, which is a terrible idea. The whole point of a jack is so if you step on the cord, it easily pulls out. It's a pull away. And that bridge is the cheapest shit, quote unquote, fast loader piece of garbage you ever saw. So, yeah. This is, you know what that bridge is? That bridge is, we can't make it so it locks because we'll get sued by Floyd Rose, and we don't want to license it. So we're going to just run it through the back, and we're just going to call it fast loader. Because you know what? There's no way to polish that turd. And there really wasn't. That is a gorgeous. That's flip-flop. Look at this thing. Look at that thing. You can't handle the neck joint. That's a genuine Showmaster, bro. But that's kind of a wreck. And the whole world is dumber because of that. We've all lost. The whole world lost today. The whole world looks at that and says, why? Just why? You know? But no, you be you, bro. You know what you did? You took your guitar, you made it into your personal showpiece, and then you traded it in a Guitar Center. What? When I see these heavily modded guitars, especially ones that have been just so incredibly personalized, I'm like, you made this incredibly personalized, one-of-a-kind guitar that's just for you, and then you sold it to Guitar Center or you traded it in. And I'm just like, oh, dude. I mean, look at that. Dude, that's an ebony fretboard. That's a goddamn Showmaster. That is a rare guitar. You do not see a ton of these out there. But you know what you definitely don't see? One of these with that stupid switch right there. It's like, what are you thinking on that blade switch? I know what you were thinking, but, you know, just because you could doesn't mean you should. And that is I'm just going to call that, instead of the Showmaster, it's the Show Disaster. The Blowmaster? We'll come up with a name. And other than that, it's nice. The paint is held up. Kramer's famously had really good paint. You could probably run a little bit of rubbing compound on that. It would look like a brand new friggin' guitar. But it's never recovering from that nonsense. Ever. Shame. Shame. I think it's $12.99. $12.99. Yeah. And I just want to show you one other thing I really hate. It's pissing me off. This vintage 180s Kramer Stagemaster American electric guitar in faded flip-flop pink finish, a rare and iconic shredded stream from the golden era of rock. This is all written by AI. Okay, they plucked out vintage 1980s Kramer Stagemaster. They know it's an electric guitar. They pull out the color, right? Then they about it. The 24 jumbo frets, and it's just littered with this stuff. And then at the end of all, this is all written by AI. Everything up to that point is written by AI. That's all AI. This is written by the dude there. Original hard shell case, added switch over original 3 mini switches, missing back covers. I liked it when it was just this. This is about as worthless as it gets. I just really, really hate this whole AI shit. Locking Floyd Rose tremolo system. Well, it's actually not a locking one. You had a locking one on there. You had a real Floyd Rose on there at one point, but that's a fast loader piece of shit from a guitar that costs 25% of what that guitar cost. Dive bombs and precise tuning stability. Oh, I assure you, you will not have precise tuning stability with that trim. That trim is garbage, always has been. So-called fast loader is a joke. Oh my God, it is. It's a shame bell. Yes, yes. The Kramer Blowmaster. Shame. Shame. To whoever worked on that guitar, you're no luthier. And it shows. Actually, AI is actually pretty good at a couple of very specific things. They're actually pretty good at just giving you page numbers for certain things. Look through this and find me this passage, and it can do it. You find me this, they talk about this and this. Where is that? And boom, it just takes you right to it. Rather than having to look through an index or doing like a search. That's a little bit better. That's the one thing that it can do really well, is it can do some pretty good contextual-based searches. And I did have AI whip up a couple of quick logos. I went to this one place to do it, and every single one was terrible. And then I think I went to Google Gemini, and every single one was pretty awesome. I was like, this is pretty good. These logos look pretty damn good. This is pro work, easily. Contrasty. It stood out. It had a vibe. They're all different types of vibes depending on the logo. If you wanted it more vintage or more modern or more like, earthy or more like, steel and metallic modern. It was pretty good. It was pretty damn good. At some point, you're going to be able to jam along with an AI band, and it's going to be pretty damn good. And the AI band will be listening to your playing, and you can give it sort of a basic structure, and then as you ramp it up, it will ramp up. As you bring your dynamics down, it will bring its dynamics down. And I could see that being a pretty good tool, right? AI jamming partner. Very quickly, we just whip up a backing track like nothing. Have I ever played a Parker guitar? I'm not sure that I have. One of my guitar teachers had a Parker guitar for a while. But I don't even think he has that. I think he was more of a Strat guy. Exactly, like an AI jam with Kiss. The difference is the regular AI band is free. AI Kiss band is a monthly subscription. Parkers have quite the cult following. A lot of brands do. Like any product. Pick a stereo brand, there's a cult following. Pick a guitar brand, there's a cult following. Pick a car brand, there's a cult following. Right? There's always a group of enthusiasts for just about any brand. I have heard some of the AI ones, but the AI ones like the Van Halen. So there's been a move to do like Black Sabbath 50 style, Dio 50 style, and Van Halen 50 style, and but what they're really doing is just taking like old 50s tunes and sticking those lyrics on it a little bit, right? The mashup isn't quite there yet. Not quite yet. Give it a little. It's in its infancy. So give it a little bit. The Nightfly, you know, I think that's what he had. I think he had a Parker Nightfly. Because I remember, for whatever reason, it reminded me of Donald Fagen. And I think that was a Donald Fagen album, right? Yeah, so basically it's 50s music with like metal lyrics. But it's not enough of a change. It's not really a mashup. You just took a bunch of lyrics and you got some girls that sound kind of like the Andrews Sisters, and you're kind of doing like 40s and 50s style, like blues, you know. But it's not really, other than the lyrics, there's really not a lot. There's no melody crossover. You know, unlike, what is it? You'll be mine for a while. I like the things and then I like your smile. You drive us wild, we'll drive you crazy. You say you wanna go for a spin. The party's just begun, but let you in. We'll drive us wild, we'll drive you crazy. Crazy, 'cause I wanna rock and roll all night. Right? That's a true mashup. Where it's got the melody, not just the lyrics, but also the melody of the other song. Right? It's right. It's not this. It's this. Should do a record. I'll give it some serious thought. Heard Ozzy singing War Pigs with John Denver. Yeah, right. But again, it was just the lyrics. Right? In other words, I don't think it kept the melody of Country Road. It was just the words. It kept the melody of War Pigs. Feels a little lazy. Wanna rock and roll all night. Party every day. Van Halen, Hank Williams, you're a cheating chump. I'm sure. See, some of them are really good. Some of them are like spectacular. And you're like, oh my God, this so works. Right? But it takes more effort. Effort? Steve, your thoughts on the Made in Rock series versus the bass amps already in the premium. You don't feel the need to run out and buy those. They're nice to have, They sound, pretty good. I'm not going to bag on them and say they don't sound good. They sound good. But so do a lot of the amps already in THU. And I've checked out some of those made in rock. They sound fine, but it's like, does it really sound like that? I feel like I can get a better tone on my own that I like better, by just doing my own thing. Or generally what I do is I find a patch that I like the start of it. And if it's not completely to my liking, I just tweak it a little bit. And that's where I tend to go through socks. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I can work with this one. Socks, right? Because I don't like every tone out there. And people say the same thing about my tone. They're like, yeah, it's, your tone sucks. And I'm like, I get it. It's not, everybody has a different idea of what good tone sounds like. But I wouldn't feel the need like, oh, no, there are amps in Made in Rock that, like, if without it. I will say, I thought some of the Chop Tones rigs were pretty damn good. Like their Brit 87 and, their Friedman stuff, I thought was like pretty spectacular. I actually thought a really good one was the Rob Balducci. You ever hear of that guy? He's like this New York sort of like kind of a shred guy. He's been around for a while. He's a really good player. That he has a patch in there, and maybe it's just because we're simpatico with how we like our tones. But I thought the Rob Balducci pack was spectacular. It came with a bunch of amps and some special effects, and even if I thought some of his stuff was a little over the top, I could dial it down and I could switch it around. And I just liked the stuff that in that pack a lot. I thought that one was really good. There was another one I thought was really good. I thought the Max Ostro one was pretty good. But Ostro gets into some weird, that dude's off on a tangent sometimes with some of those effects. They're kind of like ring modulators and stuff. It's like, it's too much. That's where Rob Balducci is just straight up, like, he's into like reverbs and delays and choruses straight out of the friggin' 80s. And that's where I kind of like his tones more, And I had a couple, I think it's got one or two amps in there they're pretty smoking. So I thought that one was a good pack. I haven't really checked out a ton of packs, but the Made in Rock ones, they don't sound bad. But sometimes when I listen to it, I'm like, well, it doesn't sound like it has enough distortion. It probably didn't have that much distortion when it was recorded. But, you know how way mixing and mastering makes it. They're recording like multiple tracks and you don't even realize it. It's like triple tracked, right? And you can't really get that sound just playing, through a rig. So, they sound good, but I don't know if they sound exactly like what they're supposed to be sounding like. Now, some of them, they got like Tony Iommi's, Iommi's amp, his touring rig. Like, these are captures from Tony Iommi's rig. But then you say to yourself, I don't know. I thought I was getting just as good a sound with one of the included amps already. How different are really amps are. They're a little turn here, a little turn there. In other words, I wouldn't feel the need to go do that. Not with everything you get with THU. Rob Balducci's a great player. Yeah, I met him at NAMM like 10 years ago. And whenever we see each other at the NAMM show, we always shake hands and give a little hug and, say hello to each other. Rob's a great guy and a monster guitar player. And I really liked his pack a lot, actually. Again, we're sort of simpatico when it comes to how we like. We both went to the Steve Lukather School of Guitar Processing. All right, there we go. We I played this patch from Nam. Yeah, I might have. You know. Your opinion on if you have a killer original song with your own sound. Chasing someone else's tone to imitate them. Oh, yeah. Thing is that even if people find this out, right, they want to run through I want to plug through that dude's rig, right? I only wanted to plug through Van Halen's rig. Didn't like it. You realize the tone is, a lot of it is in the player. And what one person gets out of their rig and what they're listening for and how they're just used to reacting to it. It's very different from somebody else. So. SDL tones? I don't know if I use them? Is that amp? Is that, amp hub? I did a video on them. I actually wrote a bunch of patches for them. It's the one that's the subscription model. Yeah, Brian May, he had an identifiable sound, Tom Schultz. You know, you know what happens? I had like a Boston song in my feed, and you watch one, live Boston thing, and YouTube is like just serves up like a dozen more. And it was old footage. There was some new footage from like 2014, and then there was some from the late 70s. Early 80s with Brad Delp. And Delp just sounds so good. And one of my biggest regrets was, I couldn't, a flood of memories coming back. About maybe a year, 2 years, 2 years before he passed away, he was playing in a Beatles tribute band, cover band. They didn't really dress like the Beatles, but they would go in and they would do all Beatles tunes, and they were called Beetlejuice. And they were they played not too far away from where I lived, at this place called Mosley's, which was the same place Chapman, when he went on the tour, he went to that same place. It's kind of like one of the, like a big old school venue, like right on the, like literally right on the edge of town. Like Boston is like 100 yards from the building, right? The edge of Boston, and then it goes in from there. And maybe 1,000 yards, not even. It's it's like really close. And he would play there. He would play at Mosley's, and you could go and I heard that between him singing lead and the harmonies they had, that they were just spectacular. And I just completely bummed, because I remember going like, oh man, they're playing there. But you know what it was? It was before the time of Facebook. And I just, I was married and I had little kids, and you just, I don't know anybody's number. People move, you lose their numbers. You don't know anyone to call. It's like, now I could go on Facebook and find 40 people to go. But back then, it was like my wife couldn't go. Someone had to watch the kids. And so I wound up never going. And then he passed away. And then, that was the end of that. And, man, I would have loved to have seen one of those sets, catch that Beetlejuice show. Brad Delp singing. You can just imagine. It's freaking awesome. Yeah, exactly, on the Charles. Exactly, in Dedham. Pretty much right at the West Roxbury line. In fact, I think the VA hospital kitty corner is in West Roxbury, right? On the other side of that intersection. Down past, guess it's the Old Irish Ale House? I feel like they've had a big change. You know, Jeff Lynne is definitely a big Beatles fan. I've been watching a lot of his stuff too recently. Again, you watch one friggin' ELO video. They had an ELO video up there so old he wasn't wearing glasses. Right? It's like when you see Joe Satriani not wearing glasses or Billy Gibbons not wearing sunglasses, you're like, whoa. What the frick? Yeah. Man. That's the best thing about YouTube, is digging out all these old shows. Yeah, the old Fontaine's Chicken sign. Malcolm Young had an amazing sound. Yeah, I want to say it might have been 78, 77, 78. I'd have to go look it up. I want to say AC/DC played in like Randolph or Avon, or I'm trying to think, it was like some sort of like maybe it was Framingham. No, I thought it was like Randolph. It was like some big nightclub that was probably gone. Probably got torn down like a chateau, but not the chateau. I can't think of it. But it was like some ballroom, and AC/DC played there. And then I think the next time around they were playing the Orpheum. Well, yeah, Carlos Santana's got an identifiable sound. Yeah, when I saw Satriani on tour, he had a thick head of hair. As a matter of fact, I don't want to date myself, but I did see Satriani on the very first show for the very first tour for Surfing with the Alien. Now, I'm sure he played gigs before that, but it was really after Surfing with the Alien came out that dude really got famous. And I went to the very first show of that tour. Literally opening night for Satriani. So some might say his first concert ever as Joe Satriani instead of Joey Satriani. Buckethead's playing in the area once again. Yeah, I saw that. I got an email. Guitar player that's amazing. It doesn't get due as Brian Setzer. Well, I think we found out how good he was when he finally did the Brian Setzer orchestra with the big band. You know, he was able to, establish his bona fides. I heard he's having trouble, though. I heard that he's having an issue with his hands or something, or I forget. He's got something going on where he can't play guitar any longer, which is a bummer. Yeah, you saw the surfing tour too? So the only other one I remember in the band, of course, was the bass player there, Stu Ham. And of course he did, his big bass solo and doing the Linus and Lucy theme, playing both parts. ELO's Bed Bevins played with drums with Sabbath when Ian Gillan sang. Okay, I saw that tour. I saw that Sabbath tour. The only time I saw Black Sabbath was that tour. The Blue Sabbath, right? Purple Sabbath? Yeah, the G3 shows, I never went to any of those. Kind of regrettable. I think they're doing one more tour, right? Are they going to do another tour? Or is it just going to be a Satriani Vai kind of split headline thing? He can't play anymore, sadly, Setzer. Yeah, I had heard that. I had heard he was having trouble with something. I don't know if it was a nerve issue or a muscular issue, or I don't know what was going on, but he's having trouble. That's a bummer. It's an autoimmune disorder. That's what it is. Yeah, right. And it's messing with something, with his ability to play. Yeah, Slash, he had a couple of things going. First of all, he wasn't trying to be Eddie, although he was definitely blues based. I think he was sort of an because there was a huge move towards the neoclassical. That was absolutely influenced by Randy Rhoads and what's his name there, Richie Blackmore, right? And then Yngwie really takes it to like another level. Now there's this whole run towards more of like a neoclassical style, and Slash was like, right, and playing a Les Paul. Look at you, you retro maniac. Look at you getting all retro. He's been able to tie his shoes and hold a glass, so, man. Yeah, like a rheumatoid arthritis, right? Yeah, like hard to grip. Yeah. I would say GNR was more of a blues rock, not blues punk. Though I don't know, I never bought any of their records, so I don't know anything other than what was on the radio. I never bought a GNR record. What was kind of a weird thing in the late 80s, the late 70s, early 80s, there was this whole wave of sort of like what they would call new wave, but a lot of it was really based in like an older sound. And they'd stick a synth in and they'd call it new wave. So like the B-52s was clearly a bit of a retro band, without a doubt. Retro to like the early 60s, right? Mid 60s. The the Stray Cats again had a complete like 50s vibe. The Cars really did have quite a 50s vibe, but you throw a synthesizer in there and suddenly you're new wave, right? Who else was in that class? The Pretenders. Probably Elvis Costello is in that class, right? That's sort of like, right, but there's like retro elements in every single one of those freaking bands. And you throw a synth in there and you're new wave. Yeah, maybe Blondie. Blondie was sort of new wave too. Yeah. 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 I would say that. Yeah, sure. Throw that in there. Talking Heads. Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of like, between like 78 and like 82. Right? 78 and 84. See, The Cure to me comes off as a little bit more alt. They're a little bit later. Not part of that group. I think of The Cure more like Echo and the Bunnymen, right? They're more like 84, 85. Right? Definitely a little bit later, at least to me. Right? They're more like the Simple Minds sort of group, right? Yeah, Police. The Police said that they would like put up the whole punk look because that's what record companies wanted. Because they saw like punk rock and they're like, oh, can you be like? They're like, yeah, sure, we can do punk, sure, yeah, whatever you need, sure. Oh, Elliot Easton absolutely had a signature sound, and he's got the rockabilly riffs, man. My God, and the rock riffs. But even his rock riffs have sort of a rockabilly feel to them. That's all his influences getting up to that point. But like my best friend's girl is, quite the sort of rockabilly sort of, 50s style dance tune until the synth comes in. Then you become new wave. I feel like the Cult came out a little later. Cult doesn't get big till 86. Right? Because I saw the Cult open for Billy Idol in July of 86. Elliot Easton is a really, really good player. I mean, seriously, the guy, Did we ever check out the flame on that? A little flambe? Some dude was like, it's a top. Anderson said it was a top, and you're wrong, bro. And I'm like, no. Just ask yourself, are they going to put a big, thick flame maple top on a guitar that sells for $550? I mean, just common sense says no. Phil sanded the pickup cavity and shows it's all alder until you get to the top, and there's a paper thin veneer on the top. Sorry to burst your bubble, but the guy in the Andertons video who said that it was a top was an Ibanez rep who's just reading off a spec sheet. No, I don't think he was at Great Woods. I want to say we saw him at Worcester. Billy Idol. Well, Steve Stevens pretty much, Missing Persons was that new wave, yeah, Missing Persons, but they were so short. God, they in and out, just gone. Steve Stevens pretty much stole the show when I saw Billy Idol. Steve Stevens was just absolutely, just melting faces. And I saw the first, again, much like that Satriani tour, on that Billy Idol tour, I saw the first show. They kicked off the tour at the Worcester Centrum. So maybe they just had been practicing for a couple of weeks and there was a lot of pent-up energy, but man, they were good. Holy shit, were they good. Was just so impressed by Steve. You could hear his guitar so clear. It just sounded so friggin' good. And he was just, oh man. His guitar playing was so off the charts. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Oh yeah, you saw Billy Idol open for Van Halen. I would have loved to have seen Van Halen open for like Black Sabbath. You know, Van Halen played the Cape Cod Coliseum. Imagine seeing him there. Oh my God! I think officially it held 6,000, but it usually held about 5,500, 5,000, 5,500. And Kiss played there. God, imagine seeing Kiss there. I think Bowie played there. Crazy. Who's shorter, Steve Stevens or Nuno? I gotta think Steve Stevens is. But I don't know. I haven't seen him. That's a good question. I haven't seen him side by side. Eddie Van Halen wasn't particularly tall either. You know who I didn't? He was there, but Nuno was walking around the NAMM show. I just never ran. You know, the show is so big, you don't run into everybody. Though I have run into Michael Anthony at a NAMM show, and Geezer Butler, and Steve Stevens at a NAMM show. That's the roasted fret, but it feels good. It feels nice. Not bad. You know, some Hudson, Mass, really? Came off a bus tour in flip-flops and was really short, yeah. Oh, Gary Newman, absolutely. Unfortunately, Gary Newman only really had, certainly one giant hit, but 2 hits? I'm trying to think of his second hit. But really, he was kind of a one-hit wonder with Cars. That song was so friggin' huge at the time. I used to know it. Boom, 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 boom. Exactly. It's about the songs and rocking out. I'm going to say that in like Homer's voice. Smoked a dude with Ronnie James Dio at an industry party at the Hilton. Nice. Surreal, just standing there. No one was talking to him. Man, that's crazy. Because we're getting that Gary Newman album for Christmas. I remember, I think my uncle bought me, what was the huge, and I do mean huge, oh God. The album. Who's the guy who did Like a Rock and Turn the Page? Bob Seger. Bob Seger had an album, I want to say either 77 or 78, that was just absolutely huge. Like a mega. My uncle got it for Christmas. He's like, it's actually like a really big album. I'm like, no, I know. No, I'm familiar. No, that's awesome. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, this is actually a cool gift. No, I like it. I can't remember the name of the album, but it was mega huge. Mega huge. By Bob Seger. I don't think it was live, Bullet. It wasn't a live album. It was I don't think it was live. Night Moves. Could have been Night Moves. Though I feel like Night Moves was a little bit before that, like more like 76, 77. I feel like it was a little later than that. Against the Wind. Was that a record? It could have been that. So it's either Night Moves, but I feel like Night Moves was slightly before it. Could have been Night Moves. It could have been. It was whatever his, like, literally his biggest most number one album. This album was, like, just on fire. Absolute Stranger in Town. That was it. Nailed it. Right? That was it. Stranger in Town, studio album by Bob Seger. That was it. We've got tonight, and it's still the same. And oh yeah, in the Hollywood Nights. What year was that? Did they say? 78. There you go. 78. That would have been right. That's it. Nailed it. You got it. Stranger in Town. That was it. Yeah, Stranger in Town was that. I think I was 12 in 78. That sounds about right. I think I was 12 when he got me that record. When did I'm trying to think of when did Foreigner Head Games come out? September 11th, 79. Was it Head Games? What was the one before Head Games? What was the one with like Blue Morning? Double Vision. That's the one I got. Double Vision. Yeah, Double Vision. Hot Blooded, Blue Morning, Blue Day. Oh yeah, no, that was it. Double Vision. My double vision always seems to get the best of me. The best of me. Yeah. Ooh, double vision. God, I love that album. I love friggin' Double Vision. Do, do, do. So, going to be an interesting week this week. Definitely have the Guitar of the Week. I have 2 left for Guitar of the Week. So I had to decide between 2. I think I went with the right one. I like to mix it up. I don't like the guitars week to week to be too close to each other if I can, right? In other words, you're not going to see like a Fender Strat one week and then like a different Fender Strat the next week. It just feels too close to each other. I like to mix it up, you know. I like to play it loose. I got that. What else we got? I'll do a THU2 video. And then I can't see myself. I mean, could I put the video out this week for the new guitar? Maybe. We'll see. I have to even confirm that it can actually like produce sound through pickups. Something I haven't even done. Like it just showed up like literally 45 minutes, an hour before I got on here. So it's definitely a little, not 100% thoroughly checked, but so far it looks amazing. And I did check for certain authenticity, and it passed. It had passed the authenticity test so far. So far so good. We'll see. You know. So I am. I can't believe again. You know what? You ever get a guitar? And I was still doing this, right? You ever get a guitar where you open it and you're looking at it in the case and you're just going like, this looks so friggin'. You just can't stop staring at it. You're like, I can't believe this. Look at this thing. This thing is stunning. This thing is unbelievable. You know. And I was kind of getting those vibes a little bit, like, damn, man, I can't. First, it was just kind of shocking that it was. Again, it was a screwed up listing, and I kind of took a chance, but I didn't take a chance because I could always just return. I got it from Guitar Center Used, and if it wasn't what I thought it was, forget what they thought it was. They were completely wrong. But if it wasn't what I thought it was, then at least I had an out. And at least I could just go return it and say, oh, no, this fails to meet my eco needs and, get everything back but the shipping. But I'll take the $22 loss rather than getting stuck with something that is not what it claims to be and getting screwed later on and not being able to do anything with it, right? Find out it's a parts cast, or you find out, like, something's been heavily modded and you're like, oh, shit, no. So, we'll see. But we will see, man. I was just like, that first few seconds, like, okay, this is going to be totally awesome, and this is going to be totally bad. Oh my God, it's awesome! Oh my God! If speakers. You know what, speaker? Pay attention to your text. I'll send you a text in like 5 or 10 minutes. I'll send you. I will get you out of suspense. And then you got to bring over your handheld because I got to update it. That new update really does change how good the brightness is on that big one. You got to get that update. So, and then we can take a ride out to like Music Go Round, and I can see if there's any more magazines worth buying. Well, that's Stratocaster. All right, dudes. So check out new video on Monday. THU2 video this week. I'll go over all the new crap. And then we will do it all again next week. And there you go. You guys have a wonderful week. I know I will have a wonderful week. These next 7 days are off to a spectacular start. All right, dudes. Have a great week. I will see you guys in a week. Until then, have a wonderful week. And we'll do it all again next week. And there you go. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. Super extra special thanks if anyone contributed. I always appreciate that. And, of course, Brofist to my mod squad. Hashtag Brofist. Hashtag mod squad. Hashtag Ben Coombs has been found. You think you need another handheld? Oh yeah, we'll go shop. We'll go handheld shopping. We'll get you a new handheld. We'll hook you up. We'll get you going. We'll get you going, bro. I think you need a new OLED screen. You going OLED? All right. Have a great week, guys. I'll see you again next week. And there you go. All right, dudes.